living your lives. We're not African. We're not black. We're not Jamaican. We are from the 12 tribes of Israel. And this high time you ain't got to sleep. Christianity is a damn sure. And Christianity is a threat to our people.
This is reality.
That's right.
This is reality. We're gonna show you why. You have destroyed yourself. So we're supposed to give a warning. We're not judging you, we're warning you.
But have we seen any change? Have we seen anything that has changed our people? Changed our neighborhood?
Your name is Teresa. So you got a question, how did the white Jews become the white Jews, right? Well, first of all, do you know that you are a Jew? According to the Bible, you're a Jew. But let's look at Luke chapter 20, verse 21. She asked a great question. You heard her question, right? Yeah, I was just talking about that. Hey, brother, watch this. You're going to find out how the white Jews become Jews.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
We was in Jerusalem, right? And the Roman armies came and surrounded us. Read.
Compassed with armies. Then know that the desolation therefore is nigh.
Know that the destruction of Jerusalem is nigh. Know that the destruction is near. Right, Teresa? Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
70 AD when the Romans came, we had to run to the mountains. Read. Africa, that's what it's talking about.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter into it. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
So God let it happen, so everything that's written in the Bible that will happen to the Jews, the real Jews, the black people, must be fulfilled. And what is it? Read.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land.
When they came and destroyed us, now when they came and destroyed us, we're in very pain. Now, this is how they came. That's how the white people came Jewish right now.
Verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Fell by the edge of the sword when Roman came in 70 AD.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Read it again.
And they fell by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations.
We went and we died by the sword by the Roman Empire in 70 AD, and we was led away captive as slaves into all nations. And conquered us and took all of us out and put us into slavery. Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So who's in Jerusalem right now?
The Gentiles.
I said the Gentiles are in Jerusalem. The people over there are Gentiles. They took our land.
Real quick, just to answer the sister's question. When you go over the history, was it 1948 is when the so-called Jewish man established himself as a Jew. He is not a Jew, he's a convert. Who's the real Jew? We already read in Bible prophecy where Christ already prophesied that the real Israelites will go into slavery.
Right.
So what happens to unoccupied land? Then you'll have the other nations come in and creep in and pretend to be you.
Right.
Just like you see. Remember, this is something that he often does. You got the native Indians, right? And what did they do? You ever heard the term $5 Indian? Or what's it called? $5 Indian. Well, what they would do is they would pay those Indians to claim to be Indian themselves. They'll claim to be a tribe, right? So that's what they would do. So this is something that they would often do. Remember, the so-called white man, he doesn't have a true heritage.
Right.
What he does is he grabs another culture and he takes on that same culture. He doesn't have nothing that he can claim for himself. So guess what? The best heritage that he would take claim of course, it would be the Israelites, because they are chosen by God. All right, that's why they claim that. Give me that. Ezekiel 7:23 says, I want you to hear, because what we read it to you is not only history, but it's Bible prophecy, that every time the Israelites would not keep God's commandments, God said, I will send you into slavery. And better, watch what? Watch what else? Give me that. 7 verse 23 and 24.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 23. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crime.
See that? Make a chain. This is God speaking to the prophet Ezekiel. He said there was so much crime going on amongst the Israelites that he said, make a chain. I'm done with them. Make a chain for this bloody city. Too much black on black crime. So I'm done with it. Watch this.
And the city is full of violence.
That city of Jerusalem was full of violence. Come on.
Verse 4. I will bring the worst of the heathen.
A heathen. You know what a heathen is? A heathen is someone outside of Israel. If you're not an Israelite, God calls them heathens, which means nation, another nation. So God said he will bring the worst of the heathen to do what?
And they shall possess their houses.
You see that? So God already prophesied because of our actions, he would get us out of the land and he would bring the worst of the heathen to possess your land. So right now, we're not in our land. We're not where we're supposed to be right now. We've been carried away captives. Christ prophesied that. The prophet Moses, he already told us the reason why our foreparents went through chains and slavery, slave ships, being whipped, women being raped. You understand? So you gotta know your history. That's what the soldier's going over. He's showing you your history out of the Bible. Christian churches, how long they had this book? How long has these Catholic churches, Baptist churches had this book? Did they, a couple of centuries, right? Did any of them ever teach you who you are and the importance of knowing who you are? No, they refuse to teach you that's truth. You got what I want? Read that one more. Now give me Ezekiel 39, verse 23. See, that's a question. That's a very good question. Because why is the white man claiming to be us? Well, the Most High already prophesied. He said, because of our sins, not keeping his commandments, all right, not loving one another as we should love ourselves. He said, I'm going to bring the worst of the heathen to come into your land, to possess your houses. Right. Even on this side, what happened to the native Indians? Wiped out, decimated. Right. And guess what? Who possessed the land? Right now, we're standing on buried, we're standing on a burial ground right now. Right. Stolen property. Read.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 39 and verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity.
Oh, you hear what it said? It says the heathen, the other nations, gonna know that the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, which are you blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians who descend from the slave trade, he said the other nations gonna know why you going into captivity. Because when we was in our right mind, when the black and Hispanic man was doing right by God, keeping his commandments, ain't no nation could stand before us. God went out and put the fear of Israel in the hearts of our enemies. But now we lost that fight. We are captives right now. Read that again.
Verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity.
See that? That's the reason why. What do you call yourself now? What's your nationality, sis? Jamaican, American Jamaican. That's a big ball of confusion. You see that? You gave your God-given name. God, what's your father? What's your father? What's your father from? Your father. But what is your father? African American? So-called African American. Guess what? African American, that's another big ball of confusion. Right. Because those are two white men names. All right? And they placed that name upon the so-called blacks today here who was carried away slaves here in America. But that name, God called you Judah. You know what that word Judah means? Praise of God. Judah means praise of God. But you know what? We gave up that name and we took on our slave master's name. You know that term, black, American black, African American. How many times has it changed? Through the years, it's been changed. It was called Afro-American. It was called what? Just black. When you came off those slave ships, they called you Negro. Remember, they called you colored. Remember, all those terms have changed, but God gave you a beautiful name. He said Judah. He said Benjamin for the so-called West Indians, the Bahamians, but God called you Benjamin, son of the right. Levi, joined unto him. Ephraim, fruitful bowl. God gave you powerful names, beautiful names, but we changed it. Our slave masters gave us slave names. Puerto Rican, Haitian, those are slave names put on by your oppressors. You gotta understand that. Give me that. Isaiah 65. You know what I want? 17. God said, because of our iniquity, because we refuse to keep God's commandments, keep our heritage, we forfeited our right to be called the sons and daughters of God. Watch this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 15. And ye shall leave your name for a curse.
What does that mean? You understand what that means? It says you shall leave your name. Your name was called Israel. That name Israel, you know what it means? It means prince that has power with God. We were the direct descendants of God. We still are.
Right.
But now, guess what? Now it's time for you to come back. Come back to your true nationality. It's not religion. This is your heritage.
Right.
Give me Psalm 78 and 5. Real quick, because you got to understand what we're leaving behind. Our women are out of order. Our brothers are out of order. They don't know how to treat their women. Brothers don't know how to treat each other. They see each other, it's automatic hatred, beef. What's on his brother's mind? I think he got something against me. He hate me. Or the sisters, they don't respect the men no more. The men, they have fallen down from their rightful place. God said the men should be head of the house, leading the way of the family. But it's not that, it's backwards now. Watch this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 78 and verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob.
He established a testimony in Jacob, which is the Israelites, the so-called blacks and Hispanics. Come on.
And appointed a law in Israel.
All right?
A law in Israel.
He appointed a law. He gave us a heritage. No other nations could take that claim. It belongs to you. But now you call yourselves after another name. You call yourself after a curse. God calls you Israel. All right? You have to remember that. You're no longer a so-called American, African-American. Where you from, brother? Nicaragua. Oh, okay. God calls you Zebulon. That's your biblical name, because you're not going to find Nicaragua. You're not going to find Panama. You're going to find Zebulon when you read the Bible. Now when you look at this Bible or read this book, you're going to see it with new eyes now. You're going to see yourself in there.
That's right.
You ain't going to see the so-called white man now, because he has robbed and pillaged for far too long. Now the truth is upon the earth. Now you see the prophets of God reaching out, calling out to the sons and daughters of God. Repent! This Bible belongs to you. This earth belongs to you. Watch this. From there, you done with that? Give me Sirach chapter 17, verse 17. Your heritage. Let's see what your heritages are. Because one of your heritages, God gave the woman a uniform. He gave the brothers a uniform. But we're not walking like that anymore. Watch this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 17. For in the division of the nations of the whole, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and a law for life.
See that? He gave you law for life. Because if a man or a woman don't walk accordingly in discipline, what's going to happen to that brother or sister? They're going to be in chaos. They're going to be in confusion. And this place right here, America the Great, is Babylon the Great. The word Babylon means confusion. This is the same place that teaches you it's okay for two men to walk hand in hand, kissing each other in the mouth.
Bring it out.
It's okay for two women to grab each other in the crotch. You see that? That's a big bowl of confusion. Now it's spilling over into our schools. Now they're teaching little babies about Steve and it's okay to have two fathers in the house. What? That's a big bowl of confusion. That is not of God. Well, will you show me where God allows that? He's against that. So when you walk against God's Bible, guess what? You're a sinner. You're not walking in your heritage, right?
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
He gave you the laws of life for your heritage. It don't belong to nobody else.
That's right.
It only belongs to you. Only person who knows how to please God and do right is the so-called black and Hispanic who descend from the slave trade.
Right.
That's it. Why you think we the main ones filling up the churches? We got a great zeal for God, but we not according to knowledge. We don't know how to please God. But today you're going to find out. Watch this. Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Sis, this is for you. This is one of the uniforms that God ordained for you to wear. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that was pertaining unto a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
What does that mean? I want you to explain that to me. It says a woman shall not wear what belongs to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. What's a woman's garment? What's a woman's garment? Be honest. Be honest. Dress. You see that? You got that, right? A man shouldn't be wearing a dress. And likewise, now the first part said what, Reed?
The woman shall not wear that was pertaining unto a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
You hear that? So what does that mean? So even, you see, even God is not about confusion. Because even this, society, they had their mind put on. They had their mind right. They draw, remember, all laws that establish upon this planet, every civilization, they draw from the Bible.
That's right.
That's how important you are to God. The wisdom that God gave us is every nation wants it. They desire it. That's why they want to pretend to be you. You understand that? The judicial system. Because it was for the Jews. You see this? This is what does that mean? How you know which bathroom that you should go into? The one wearing the what? The one wearing the dress. So why are we confused now? That's why our enemies are constantly making laws against us. They don't want us to get up out of this captivity. Because once we do what is pleasing to God, we all are one mind and we decide, listen, I'm going to wear what God wants me to wear. I'm going to speak the way God wants me to speak. No nation can stand in front of you. That's what we do. We activate our Savior, Christ, the Black Messiah. That's what we do. When we're walking upright, no nation can stand before us.
That's right.
Is that it on that? Give me Zephaniah 1 and 8. So sis, what should you do now? God said the woman shouldn't wear what belongs to a man. What should you be wearing now? As a daughter of Judah from the nation of Israel, what should you be doing? Because God calls his daughters princesses. You are a princess of Israel. So every princess, when you saw them on television, what were they wearing? Every princess who was Snow White, Cinderella, what were they wearing? Right. They was always wearing dresses. Beautiful dresses. God calls you a princess. So you should do so. No man should be looking upon you and you out of order, desiring your body. Because that's what society teaches you now. They teach you the woman could dress out whatever she wants. Do whatever you want. No. God is against that. He already gave you a law. Let me ask you a question. If your boss, right, you go to work, the boss gives you a dress code, right? He gives you a dress code, what to wear. He says, I need you to wear black shirt, this, that, the third. If you come out to work not wearing the proper attire, what's going to happen? You got to go home. Guess what? God is the boss of all bosses. He's the boss of all bosses. He gave the woman a uniform. He gave the men a uniform.
That's right.
Even the men. Let's get this law. Look at this real quick. That was for you, sis. So from now on, you need to know the importance of wearing what God wants you to wear. He wants you to wear a modest dress. That right there, it was supposed to be under your dress. That's really underwear. You know the history on that? See, that was meant to be underwear. Wear it under your dress. So, but now society has gotten. You ever seen read the book, The Emperor's New Clothes? When in grade school, they have a book called The Emperor's New Clothes, where these the people are creating a new clothing for the emperor, right? So they come up with an idea. Let's let him go walk around naked. Now he walks down the street naked. Now, out of all the crowd, everybody's clapping their hand because they don't want to offend the emperor. He's butt naked. Only one boy out of everybody, out of the crowd, says, hey, emperor, you're naked. You're naked. You're not supposed to be. That's not normal. You see that? So, sis, we that little boy. We're showing you, sis, you're naked right now. Because you're not clothed the way God wants you to be clothed.
Right.
And brothers, this is your job. You should be learning this, studying this, and then eventually teach any woman that comes in your life who's from the nation of Israel. All right? You should be telling her, nah, sis, that's not how you should be dressing. If you got a young little daughter, what you gonna dress her in? Dress! Because we like to call our little daughters what? Princesses. Now, does a princess wear tight underwears on the outside? No. You see that? That's against God. Who taught us that evil lesson? Was it God? Did God say, no, wear whatever you want? What I was talking about before? No, we're going to change that. He never changed that. You got what I want? Watch this. This is for the men. This is for the men, sis. I want you to, when you go away, now you know what a godly man looks like. All right? Woman, what a godly woman's supposed to look like. Come on.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 21 and verse 5.
For the men of Israel, you blacks and Hispanics and Indians that descend from the slave trade, God has a uniform for you. Come on.
They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
God says you shouldn't be shaving. You shouldn't be cutting off your beard. If you have a beard, you have to keep it. That's the uniform that he bestowed upon the men, the Israelite men. You, of course, if you can trim it down, but don't disfigure your beard. You understand? Because God has a beard. All his prophets had beards. You understand? So that's a dress code for you. Now let's read another dress code, and we're gonna get into the point. You got something for me? Okay, here we go.
This is a history of women in America by Carol Hamatswit and Michelle Wiseman. Public resistance was strong when feminists merely took the speaking platform and asked for change. When they actually changed themselves openly and visibly, public reaction went wild. Such was the case when feminists shed their hoop skirts and corsets in favor of a costume including pants.
See that? So now it's giving you the history. See, look at that. A history of women in America. So this is 1850. It's giving you the detailed history when women started wearing pants. Who made it okay? God never made it okay. He never changed his mind. Give me that. Malachi 3 and 6. We're going to see if God ever changed his mind. Because he gave us a law. Remember, it's supposed to be our heritage. What's a heritage? Our heritage is our culture. What we eat, what language we speak, how we dress, what God we praise. Right? Read.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not.
You hear what God said? He said he is the Lord and he changed not. Just like a father, a parent in the house, a child, you give them instructions. Do this, do that. You give laws in your house. If that child grows up, move out the house, and they come back and visit you, does the laws in your house change? No. They still got to do what? Respect you. Respect the rules in your house. The laws in your house. Well, this planet is God's house. You are his children. So you need to do what? Follow his laws. Let me Acts chapter 5, verse 30. We're going to see what one of the prophets of God, what is more important, what man thinks or what God thinks? Let's see.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God.
Do what?
We ought to obey God rather than men.
What did the Bible say? It said we ought to obey God. Let's do what God says. Let's rely on what he told me to do.
Right.
How I should dress. So when you wake up in the morning, first thing should be, hold on, what God want me to do? He allowed you to wake up. He allowed your breath, you take your breath in. So hold on, let me see. Now your decision making is based on God's wisdom. You understand? Now when you go out and buy your new clothing, you go to that clothing store, sis, what you gonna reach out and grab? When you see them tight fitted jeans, you order dress. Dress. Let's see what kind of dress. Is it that mini skirt? Should it be that mini skirt when you bend down and the brothers see everything? Let's find out. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Let's see, because God covers everything. Anything you need is right here in this book. Watch this.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9.
Let's see what kind of dress or skirt God commands the Israelite woman, the princess of Israel, should be wearing.
In like manner also, that the women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
What is modest? Modest mean? What does modest mean? Brothers, what modest mean? Huh? Okay. She said modest apparel. So the clothing should be what? It's not showing anything. That means it should be of length. Just like that what your grandmother would be wearing, right? Nowadays we got beautiful flowing sundresses. Beautiful. So there's no excuse. We still have beautiful dresses. Our foreparents, let's get that. They were picking cotton in dresses. You got what I want? So there's no excuse So that means, can this law still be kept? Yes.
From the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, modesty, the quality of behaving and especially dressing in ways that do not attract sexual attention.
Damn. You see that? That's in the dictionary. So God knows what he's talking about, right? God knows what he talks. So he said, I want my beautiful princesses to wear modest apparel. When you have a daughter, any woman in your life, you must make sure she's dressed in what? Modest apparel. Even brothers, if you're not married and you plan on being married, this is something that you need to look for. This is one of the qualities you need to look for. Hey, is she wearing a dress? This is godly. This is a woman that obeys God's commandments rather than a man. All right, sis? So you understand that.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.